Starting a business is one of the hardest things you will ever do. And in this week's video, I want to talk about why that is and why I've decided to help other people start a business when it is probably the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. And I think understanding this in the beginning is really important because a lot of times I know there's tons of people who want to be coaches and they do coach trainings because they think it's going to be easy. They see other people doing it and they're like, this may be easy. And then when it comes to actually taking the steps to starting the business, they face all these fears and they're like, holy cow, can I really do this? This is really, really scary. And a lot of times that stops people from ever pursuing the business. So there's a lot of people who want to be coaches, but when it comes time to actually starting the business, they don't do it. Or they kind of start it and then they just stop because it's hard. And it brings up a lot of fears. And I can tell you from my own experience, I faced this as well. Like I was like, I have this dream of having a location independent business. Coaching's amazing. I love coaching people. I love supporting people and helping people. But when it came time to starting the business, all my fears were thrown in my face. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is scary. Okay, this is scary. Can I do this? And what I have found through my own journey is that starting my coaching business has been the one thing that has transformed me and my life more than anything else I have ever done. And in a really, really, really good way. And so, yes, it was incredibly challenging. And there were many times where I perhaps wanted to give up, but I kept going. And by going through this journey, it has changed me in so many ways. I'm a totally different person than the person who started my business. I'm someone who has dreams and I go after them and I make them happen. And I don't let my fears stop me. And I understand that I can do hard things, that I can face challenges and overcome them. And I don't know if I already said this, but my confidence is so much higher as far as myself and what I can do and what I can accomplish and what's possible for me than it was when I started my business. I wasn't really clear on who I was, what I wanted. And now I feel really secure and confident in those things. And so for me, starting a business has been incredibly, incredibly challenging, and growing that business and continuing to grow that business. But it is also the most rewarding thing. And once again, this is why I help other people do that, because I know it's going to be challenging. And I also know it's going to be one of the most rewarding things you will ever do. So know this in the beginning. And I want to go through really like why this is the case, why it's so challenging to start a business. The biggest thing is, number one, like it's going to bring up all your fears, right? Like, can I really do this? Do I have what it takes? Are people going to want to really work with me? How am I going to stand out? What makes me special? Do I know enough? Do I need to keep learning more? Do I need more certifications? What if I fail? What are people going to think of me? All these fears get thrown up in your face and you have to face them and you have to feel the fear and do it anyways, because the thing is, the fears will not go away. They will not go away. You cannot sit and wait for the fear to go away to start your business. You have to feel the fears because everyone feels these exact same fears when they start their business. And you have to decide that feeling that fear is worth it because you want it bad enough. It's worth facing the fear for you to start your business. And if you need to tap into why having this business is so important to you, make sure you do that, because that is going to allow you to connect with the reasons why facing your fear is important enough for you to start your business, because you will have to face those fears, okay? And this also goes into having like limiting beliefs and stories that we have about ourselves. So I often talk about this, but I am definitely an introvert. And I always saw myself as someone who was quieter, maybe kind of like in the background. I wasn't front and center. And the idea of doing videos, the idea of getting out there and selling and like being in front of people and, you know, talking about what it is I do was very intimidating and scary to me when I was getting started, because it was all new. And I had stories about myself that I wasn't really that type of person. I wasn't really someone who was out there sharing my life and teaching people. And so this is really like a limiting belief or a limiting story I had about myself that I had to overcome, or I had to look at and see that it wasn't really true in order to get out there and start being visible and building my business. And a lot of us have a lot of different limiting beliefs, like I'm not that smart, I'm not someone who follows through on things, you know, I start things and then I quit. I'm not someone who's good at sales, I'm not good at business. I don't want to be pushy or salesy, like all these kind of limiting beliefs and stories that we have that really hold us back. And you have to be willing to look at those and to transform them into the stories or the beliefs that are going to support you in moving forward, right? A huge part of the work that I do with my clients, because this is key. And this is why starting a business is so challenging for so many people. It's not necessarily the actions that you have to take themselves that are that important. It's the mind and the things that we're thinking and believing that keep us from taking those actions that hold so many people back, okay? So the other thing is habits. A lot of us have habits that really stop us from being successful in our business, which some of the big things is like procrastination or analysis paralysis, where you're overthinking everything and you never take action on things, right? Or starting things and not following through on things. And there's different reasons. Like sometimes we start things and we don't follow through because they're not the right fit for us. But sometimes we start things and we don't follow through with them because they're hard or they're challenging, or we start to face these fears or limiting beliefs and we decide that we don't want to face them. It's too scary. And, you know, we turn the other way and run away. So knowing that you may have these certain habits that you have to work on changing habits in order to be successful with your business. Okay. And changing habits isn't necessarily super challenging as far as the action. It's, once again, it all goes back to your mindset, and habits are ingrained. And so we just have to be willing to change those habits and instead start instilling habits that are going to allow us to be successful. So being consistent, being persistent, following through on things, setting up a schedule and deciding when you're going to do things and actually doing them. All these new habits that you have to put in place to be successful with your business. Once again, you're your own boss, right? So you don't have someone telling you what to do, when to do it, all those things. So you have to start doing it for yourself. Like that's a new habit for a lot of people. It's just a habit of being your own boss, of holding yourself accountable. So that piece too, the habit piece. The next one, why starting a business is challenging for a lot of people, is you have to have your own back. So this really goes into belief and belief in yourself. And a lot of times we're used to asking other people, like, what do you think I should do? Do you think I can do it? Do you think I can be successful at this? And instead, you got to start, you're the one who's starting your business. You're the one that's going to be following through and taking action. You're the one that's going to be facing your fears and your limiting beliefs and doing it anyways. And so you have to have your own back. You can't rely on other people having your back and telling you, yes, you should do this. Yes, you can do it. Yes, you'll be amazing at it. Yes, this is a good idea. You got to decide that for yourself. When I started my coaching business, I got a lot of feedback that maybe it wasn't the right thing for me. Like maybe this is silly because I just went and I became a chiropractor and I spent, 4 years of my life plus undergrad and hundreds of thousands of dollars on my education. And I decided this isn't really what I want to be doing. This isn't the right fit for me as far as the work I want to be doing and the lifestyle I want to be living. And a lot of people thought I was crazy. And that was challenging because I started to question myself. I'm like, okay, is this really the right thing? Like maybe they're right. Maybe I can't really do it. Maybe I won't really be able to make money. Maybe I should do what I went to school for until I make money doing that, and then I can do what I really want to be doing. But ultimately, I knew what I wanted. I knew what was best for me. And so I had to have my own back. Even when I got doubts from other people and they were telling me, maybe you shouldn't do this. Maybe this isn't the right fit. Maybe this isn't the most logical or reasonable thing. I had to believe in myself. And I had to decide this is what I want and I'm going to make it happen. So this is very, very challenging for a lot of people, but you really have to have your own back and you have to believe in yourself. And of course, like having belief of other people can be really helpful, which is why working with someone to help you start your business and having a good community of people who believe you and support you, I do think is really, really important. But you can't necessarily rely on getting that from your friends and family. You have to really have that for yourself, okay? And the next piece, as far as why starting a business is so challenging for most people, is you have to have grit, okay? And what I mean by grit is you need to do things and have things not necessarily work out, have failures, make mistakes, and you need to keep going and you need to try again and you need to learn and do it better or do it differently, okay? And a lot of people just aren't gritty, okay? You gotta get gritty. You gotta get gritty. You gotta be like, I am gonna make this happen. I'm gonna follow through. I used to go on like all these really long road trips, and I had one road trip where I had to, my car, I couldn't change gear in it. And so I had to drive straight to Florida from Wisconsin. It was like 24 plus hours of driving by myself. And I drove straight through without, stopping for gas and like to go to the bathroom, but I had to drive straight through because I could not put my car in park. And so people are like, how did you do that? And quite frankly, it was grit. Okay. Grit is the thing that you're like, I am gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen. I don't care how hard it is, how many mistakes I make. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna follow through. And I'm gonna make this happen, okay? That's grit, and you really have to have that when it comes to starting your business, because there's gonna be days where you love it, there's gonna be days where it feels really challenging, some things are gonna go really well, some things are not, and you gotta keep going. Anyone who started a successful business, I don't care what type of business is, they are gritty, because it is not, you hit one ball and it's a home run. You gotta keep hitting, you gotta keep swinging, you gotta keep practicing, you gotta keep doing it. Okay, so these are really the reasons why starting a business is so challenging and why so many people quit or they don't do it in the first place when it comes to actually taking the action to start a business. And I think it's helpful to know these things, to be prepared for them, and to know that if you're willing to go through these things, feel these things, that starting a business will be one of the most amazing and life-changing transformational journeys that you ever go on, and that you will never be the same in a really, really good way, and that you will grow so much, you will be so much more confident, you will be so much more authentic, and you will be creating really the life that you want to be living. And I think there's nothing better, and this is why I help other people do this. And I just want you to be like, I can do this. I know what to be looking out for. I can expect these things, and I'm going to do it anyways. Okay. So I want to thank you for joining me in this video. Get gritty. It will make such a difference when it comes to building your business. And I'd love to hear from you. Like, what's your biggest takeaway from today's video? Are these things that you weren't aware of, or are these things you know when it comes to starting your business that you're going to have to face? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to dive a bit deeper into really the steps to building a successful business, how to boost your confidence, how to get your first clients, I will link a training right below this video. Go and check it out. And I want to thank you for joining me in this week's video, and I will see you next week.